Ever wondered how some DMs can just improv an entire game on one sentence? Want to actually try improving more than names and NPC interactions? Well, stick to the end of the video and I'll show you 3 tips in order to improv your story arcs. Let's get into it. Welcome back, storytellers. My name's Khalil Roberson, an experienced dungeon master, here to help you pursue your fantasy. And in this entire writing and campaign series, which if you haven't watched previous videos, pause right now and go check out these videos up here. Trust me, you're gonna love it. Anyways, so in this entire series, we've been making a campaign just for you guys and showing you how I go about making my campaigns. And the killer strategy that I like to use is improving my story arcs. It saves me a lot of time and a lot of work, and it requires me to not have to stay grounded in a particular railroad and being able to be more maneuverable in changing my stories. So I hope you enjoy the video. Let's get into it. Tip number 1, create a skeleton. So what do I mean by this? First off, you should definitely know how your world will react to the players doing certain things, and then how the world will react with itself. What are some things that people in your world have to deal with? Do they have to deal with the intersectionality of different cultures? Do they have to deal with monstrous threats? What do they deal with on every single day basis that the players could potentially interact with? And then on top of that, what are certain morals and culture that your world has that will either be in direct conflict with your players or are on the same level with your players? And then how would the world react if the players are on either side of the fence? Once you have all that figured out, you basically have a lot of improv fodder material, so to speak, in order to make different encounters on the fly. But something else secondarily that you most definitely need to have a skeleton of is how you want your campaign to go. What are the different points of interest that your players have to hit in order to progress your campaign? And once you have that, you just improv all the stuff in the middle, and then we move on to our next tip. Tip number 2, prep a few encounters. Now, I understand what you're saying. This is supposed to be all about improv and doing it on the fly, but one of the most important pieces of advice I can give you is fluff on the fly, crunch on the time. So what do I mean by this? Basically, do not, and I repeat, do not make encounters that are solely reliant on dice and mechanics on the fly. Just don't. Most times you'll accidentally TPK your party, or you'll make something really uninteresting and it's just kind of wasted your players' time, and they'll be like, well, what was that all about? So just try to spend more time outside of the session making those things. And a secondary effect of what this will do for you is basically it'll give you stepping stones inside of a session to get your players from point A to point B. Whether or not that means getting them from the town to the goblin village, then to the spider shrine, those are up to you. So creating a couple encounters before the session really helps you improv how they're going to get to these different points. Now let's move on to the third and secondarily most important step. Tip number 3, relax and react. This is where all of the improv really comes into play. You've already made the skeleton of your campaign. You already made these sort of stepping stones for the session. Now just sit back, relax, and react. What exactly are your players saying to each other? What are they saying to the world? What do they want to engage with? Sort of listen to them. Listening is probably the most important things, and I think most fun things you get to do as a DM is you get to listen to how your players are enjoying or interacting with the world as a whole. And from there, you get to react to the way that they are interacting with the world. So for instance, let's say they start going inside of this large cavern, and you know that they really don't know where they're going to be going inside of it. So you're like, all right, they don't know where they're going. They're talking to each other like, all right, what are we going to explore in here? Oh, let me throw them a halfling who wants them to go investigate this goblin town, which I had already made beforehand, that he wants to figure out whether or not they are friendly or foes, and then whether or not they are, he's going to kill them. And then they get to roleplay and interact with that. And from there, how they interact with that is my reaction. And once they've gone to the goblin town, how they interact with the goblin town is my reaction. Listen to your players. They will tell you everything you need to do improv-wise. And that's really the greatest thing you get to do as a DM, is listen to your players because you are the DM. Improving as a dungeon master is really difficult and hard in the beginning, but the more that you do it, the more it'll just come as second nature to you, and it'll make life so much easier, and it'll really make for what I think a much more pleasurable storytelling experience. And if you would really like to join us as a storytelling community, please just join our Discord right here. We have an entire paradise where we all talk and engage with each other. And if you want to engage or see a little more of my weirdness and how I like to do stuff, just go ahead and follow me on Twitter. I post basically all the stuff that I either think of, the tips and tricks that I think I should give you, or just stories from either my tables or tables that I sit at. And if you really enjoyed what you got to see here, please don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon. And I really want to give some love to the Matt Colville subredditors out there. You guys have been giving me love like so much, and I really do appreciate it. All of my original subscribers, please give them some love inside the comment section, because that's all they've been giving us, and I seriously appreciate it, and I am so happy that you guys are with us. I hope you guys are enjoying your day, and I will have a fantastic one. And in a world without fantasy, sometimes you need a little Dungeons and Dragons.